Daddy, what are you doing?
Okay, then! Everybody, listen up! I'm going now. Who's coming with me?
Somebody, please help him. I think my dad's gone crazy.
You can't just abruptly end it. You have to fade it down.
Well, I'm not good at this stuff yet.
We're still learning, obviously.
Whatever, this is Jack.
And this is River, and you're listening to
Your voice is so different. $1 million mistake.
$1 Million Mistake.
You have too much inflection in your voice.
I'm sorry, I guess I talk wrong.
Yes, you talk wrong. But it's not your fault.
Well, we're obviously doing something
It's a
right.
man's fault. Some man has impacted you in a negative way. And that's why.
Aren't we
Probably
supposed
me.
to do a little bit of
Huh?
some banter for an intro instead of just
No.
getting right into it?
No, we just do whatever we
You can
want.
tell we're really new.
No, we've been talking for
Learning
a long
as we
time.
go.
We spent a lot of time talking, so I think we're highly experienced. Anywho,
Well, Jack's just going to take over from here, so I'll let him go.
we got to come up with some kind of prompt for today.
You gave the prompt away already.
And it's my theory on men and women.
Uh-huh.
Shocking that I have a theory on that.
That's not been discussed before, has it?
Mm-hmm. I think men are born wanting, and women are born having. And it's the wanting man that damages the having woman.
Uh-huh.
He has this yearning for things that he cannot obtain. He wants what he cannot have. He always wants something more. It's never good enough. It needs to be his. It needs to be perfect. Or it needs to be messed with in some way. He has to be the last one to touch it and put his name on it. Whereas women are content to just leave things as they are.
I still challenge you on this blanket judgment of all men and all women.
It plays out in little boys and little girls, though.
What? Okay, how many? Your sample size is what?
2.
And how many do you need?
No, 4. We got me and you in there.
Okay.
Sample size.
Okay, keep going. This is your time. I'm going to let you finish it.
Sample size of 4. I think little boys are born wanting shit that they're just never going to have, and they have to, over the course of their life, be purified of their anger at the world or people for not having, until they can learn how to just obtain it legitimately on their own and earn it.
Well, I think you owe the world now more detail on how one might go about cleansing.
It's a lifelong process. There's a lot of old men who still haven't learned how to get over it yet.
This episode is again about metaphysical mush.
Yes.
That is our whole pod. That needs to be the category in the podcast. You know how
Not
you
$1
drop
million
down,
mistake. It's
it'll say
metaphysical mush.
comedy or
Yeah.
whatever. Metaphysical mush.
The
metaphysical mush.
Well, anyways, to expound this theory that I've worked on for, I don't
It's
know.
been several weeks now.
Yeah. Weeks and weeks on end, but never actually seriously. And now I just kind of jump into it and start babbling about it. I would say, I think there's pretty good support for it if you look around, especially on the boy side.
I think you probably need to specify.
I think it's more
what are
challenging.
boys wanting? What are boys wanting?
The equivalent of marking their territory,
Okay.
to put it in animalistic terms. Because little boys act much more animalistic with their outward expression of...
But see,
of
I think
aggression
you just
as
said
well.
something important there of outward expression.
Mhm.
Perhaps you're noticing the expression and then attributing too much of how one gender expresses versus... Okay, now I'm going to sound really dumb. This isn't going to be a for real podcast, I don't think. Yes, it is. Let's just keep going. Okay,
Push through it. Push through.
Take anger, for
So you can give
example.
birth to a child.
No,
You can
okay,
give birth to a
Oh, I
podcast.
can. Push this one out. All right. Say anger, for example. Men and women express anger differently. And but they might still both have the same anger. If you could quantify anger, and let's say they're both at a 100, but the man might look and act very differently in a way that is more outward and more, people could notice it and see it more often, but they both inside are the same. So I'm asking you then about your theory here about men and women.
Well, I think things bother men or boys that don't bother females. I think males are bothered by things that females are not bothered by, on average.
Well, and vice versa. It's just different things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, take me and you, for example. What kind of things bother me that don't bother you? Well, we were just talking about it minutes ago. Look around here.
Nothing bothers me
Clutter,
anymore.
cleanliness bothers me and not you. Stop
I-
thinking about yourself. Ignore me here. It's like,
No, nothing bothers me anymore.
But then there's things that bother you that don't bother me, like digital clutter. I can have, 25
You just gotta
icons on my desktop and not
No,
care.
digital clutter's easy. You just hit the delete key.
Well, you don't stand for that. That bothers you and doesn't bother me. And the actual clutter, like looking around everything I see right now, bothers me and not you.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not angry about it
Well, I'm not angry about it either.
because I've grown up.
So is this a poor example?
I don't know where we're going with this anymore.
All right.
And I'm not sure how to tie this into $1 million mistake either.
Oh, we still got like 15 minutes before you got to do that one.
I think the $1 million mistake to keep in mind here is just how easily people can get, or situations can get, a reaction out of you.
Mm-hmm.
How much does it take to get you bothered? And then thinking about the kids today when they're wanting to play around and hide in the suitcase. And Maddox gets all freaked out when you even start closing the lid because he thinks he's going to suffocate and die. He has this irrational fear that we're going to abuse him or kill him or something. Whereas Bryn, on the other hand, just doesn't even care and she just jumps right in. And they've been raised almost identically as twins.
I do agree that men and boys tend to have like a shorter fuse is probably a common phrase.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe we should go the other way. Not that men are born wanting, but rather women are born essentially on pedestals.
We're more patient,
I think women learn early
understanding,
on
empathetic.
that they are supposed to have men basically cater to them, and it's benevolent sexism. And I think men get very frustrated when they don't get the things they want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's similar to what Jordan Peterson said about, the shooting or not terrorism. Some guy went on some kind of rampage and shot people or something like that. And he did something, I don't know.
That's the script.
Okay. Random male does bad things.
Bad things.
Insert
Oh,
opinion
listen.
of Jordan Peterson.
Bad things.
It was his opinion that what they needed to have more
Something like marriage.
faithful marriages,
Oh yeah, that's like women's fault.
enforced monogamy.
All women, random women, not related to this
No, Ben
man,
did. He
are
blamed Ben too.
somehow
He blamed Ben too.
responsible for this man's violence.
The point is, in society,
Tell me that's not sexism right there.
I think
Systemic sexism.
I think the point he was getting at was women are essentially put up on pedestals and made to think that they can have whatever they want to choose from, and that makes them a little more fickle. And I mean, in general, yes, women do kind of get their pick of men, but not all men. Just of the subset of men that are going to be interested in a particular woman, she gets to be the one that makes the decision, more or less, because they are the one that hold the more valuable resource. They're the one. They're the women.
What's
are
the
bottleneck.
resource?
Probably sex, I would think. Women control the sex.
Okay.
How often do you hear about a woman raping a man? I don't know that it even really happens.
I don't know.
You've read this in the past before.
I mean, in some ways I do, but when
That-
you say it all out there and we try
that
to
women get put up
blanket.
on a pedestal and made to feel like they get to pick
some women, I do. See, now you are taking this from my
I think
perspective because I'm
a
amazing. and
sufficient
awesome
number of women, such that to create
that was sarcasm.
a sufficient number of
Kind of.
women, such that you will create a norm across the population. Have their selection amongst 5 to 10 guys, let's say, in life. Women will get to pick between 5 to 10 different guys that they want to settle down with.
No,
Men, on the other hand, it's not. I don't think it's
But
that.
it's not quite like that. I mean, think about how relationships develop in your early years when you're dating or when you're looking for somebody. It's not like I walk in and there's a lineup of 10 guys and I'm just kind of, which one do I want here? It's a little bit more of a natural progression, and males have a big part in it too. There's been guys before that were really interested in me. We talked about this recently. That
Well, that's it.
I
Not
kind of
every guy's
pursued a
gonna-
little bit, and
Not every guy's going to be interested in every girl.
so it's not. I mean, it's not quite as simple as I think you try to cut it out here.
But that's where you get the drama.
Well, that's where there's holes in your theory.
Yeah, and I'm not a PhD in psychology, so
Yeah,
good
you are.
news.
You have your
to worry.
honorary doctorate
I've got an
from the
honorary
University of Me.
PhD.
And as a therapist, I have the right to give that to you.
Okay. Well, you made a huge mistake. There's $1 million mistake.
There's the $1 million mistake. Yes. There. Okay. All right. Moving on. That was good.
No, it wasn't. This is terrible.
No, we're pushing through it. We're pushing through
We
it.
need to start this
No,
all over.
I'm not going to let you. I will. You know, if I have to talk the rest by myself, I will.
All right, we need to come up with something interesting.
Okay. Well, we were up to 59 views on the last
59
one, which you said you
views?
took
Oh,
down.
I took down the link off Facebook because you were freaking out about people seeing it. So
No, that's a lie. I changed my settings and told you to leave it up. You want to talk about what you were freaking out about?
I don't remember.
Yesterday. Pictures of our house.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, because I don't want to hear quote after quote about our house.
I put three pieces of artwork up.
I'm
that
just getting sick of it.
Designed. I went outside, I got bit by mosquitoes, ran around our house in the dark.
These sound like you problems.
From different, you know what? This is my turn. I've got the baton right now.
No, I want the vape pen.
Anywho, I put a lot of heart and soul into them, you know.
How about we talk about the depth of the song Frosty the Snowman?
I can't believe right now you're cutting me off as I'm talking about being, you basically shit on my artwork and tell me that it's stupid. And I'm trying to talk about that experience and relive that pain, and you're trying to shut that down too.
I'm telling you that your pain is false because you're lying about what was really happening.
Oh my gosh.
Frosty
You're
the Snowman
cute. You're cute.
is a hilarious song.
Yes, let's analyze Frosty the Snowman. We'll cue it up here. All right.
You can play that real soft in the background.
Okay.
Frosty the Snowman was a holly jolly soul.
I don't know how you're going to talk about this right now.
I don't know. Pick something else then.
It's
a funny song. I don't think people have given it the proper appreciation.
Frosty's a bandit, first of all.
Frosty is a motherfucking savage.
Do you want to try the Beach
around
Boys
town
version? We
doing-
don't know that one.
No.
You don't want to try something? Oh my gosh, they have an annoying orange one. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to find it here. The Jackson 5.
Jackson 5 is pretty good. Don't play it too loud. You're soft in the background. And look at the cult following this guy has, for one. Nailed it when it comes to like being popular. The iconic winter icon. He's the winter
Well, we
icon.
watched the cartoon recently, and it was... I mean, how much adult humor is in these old cartoons?
There's some
really
fucked
funny,
up
but-
scenes in Frosty the Snowman, like when that evil wizard guy like melts Frosty inside the greenhouse and just makes that little girl watch him die some horrible death.
Yeah.
That's evil. He's a fairy tale,
There's
say.
references like sex and drugs, and I mean, I know that you have to kind of be looking for it, but
Well, like all good Disney movies,
yeah.
there's something awkward to be found if you watch. I can't say I'd be any different though if I was doing artwork like that. Man, we get bored. Because I see like how like crude.
No, I'm not to hear about your artwork.
I think the joke is to see how crude of a reference you can insert
Yeah.
without getting called out by your boss.
Your boss. Oh, your
Or
boss.
whoever it is that's watching, like whoever like
You thinking of something?
whoever's like editing, whoever is like doing the editing.
Uh huh. Right.
You know what I mean?
You want to hide in plain sight is basically what you're saying. You want to hide the humor, hide the
That's
raunchiness in plain sight.
Isn't that when adults go back to watch movies though with their kids?
Yeah, they.
How else
try
do you
to
get
tie
adults
that
to watch
in.
Toy Story?
That would
And
be a
then
good one. I don't think I've watched
Toy
that
Story
one.
2, Toy Story 3.
I know,
How else are
I
you going to
know.
watch that? They're there for the adult jokes because
Boss
they're
Baby
funny.
was great with that.
Boss Baby, yeah, sucking on the passy, or is it a
Oh, it's
passy
an
or a
acid
bottle?
trip. Yeah, no, it's a pass.
It's like an acid trip to Babyland. It's hilarious.
Yeah. But things like that, I mean. Okay, anyways. Frosty the Snowman. Going back to the song here.
Oh, what about him?
Well, I don't know. You wanted to bring this up. It's playing.
I didn't
back
bring
there,
up
too.
anything. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can't believe you right now.
You need better content than what you made.
Okay. Wow, we're really like not thinking of anything right now.
What is up with the spirit animal thing right now?
I think that's kind of over, actually.
That happened then. I mean, everybody had their spirit.
happens.
Oh, spirit animal. My spirit animal was tiger, but I feel like my spirit animal was actually a snake.
Lion.
I feel like my spirit animal was a snake
Explain that one. I don't think you're a snake.
because I'm not very thirsty all the time. I don't know.
Because you're not really... Okay, what's a snake? A snake is a deceitful...
Oh yeah, no, I like snakes because the snake lies in wait and it kind of like camouflages itself a little bit. It doesn't bother anybody until
Like a woman.
the snake doesn't bother anybody
Relational
until you come
violence.
too close to the snake and try and stomp on it,
That was one
and
of the
then it
pieces of my
starts
artwork.
rattling its tail or it strikes out and bites you.
The rose and the thorn, don't steal the blossom.
Exactly. The snake waits for the opportune moment and it kills its prey relatively humanely, and then it eats the whole thing and it has like no waste. They're very efficient.
Okay.
They know how to lie in wait. They're very patient. They're very efficient, and many of them are very deadly. My real spirit animal is of course the coral snake, which is red touches black.
Friend of Jack.
Friend of Jack. Red touches yellow will kill a fellow. So yeah. So
Yes.
obviously with the name Jack. Yeah.
See, okay, when I think of a snake, I think of more like the biblical snake, the you're a snake and you
The
betrayed
reference is
me.
the serpent. And it only says the serpent was more subtle. It doesn't say the serpent was evil. He was just more subtle.
But you understand that a snake is a derogatory term if you call a person a snake
It should be.
and what that represents.
Think about all the cycles of renewal that
And
they
that
go
is
through with their
what-
skin.
Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier about men and women, and we've talked about how men and women hurt one another differently. And how with females, the relational violence, and you seem to think that a lot of women, at one point your theory was that women were perfect, that they're all perfect.
They are.
Oh, okay. And
Women
I
are
was trying to
perfect.
explain to you more the
It's
relational,
men that are-
passive-aggressive
it's-
violence.
Women are perfect,
of
and
girl
it's
on
men
girl.
that screw them up and do dumb things and hurt them. And
What about when the men are like absent and it's just the girls? At that
that's how a
point,
man, the best screw a woman up is to not be there to support her.
I'm a grown-ass woman, and I'm kind of feuding with another grown-ass woman right now.
Mm-hmm.
And both of us have dads that are that they were present when we were younger, and but they're not really relevant anymore.
You don't think you had any other males in your life than just your dad? How about boyfriends? How about other men in your life that hurt you?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is related to what's going on right now in this particular case, which you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to give details. We don't need to identify it. But how are men related to that?
What? The
My-
situation?
The anger and the mistreatment of
I was a dick to my
towards
sister
one
a lot
another.
as a kid.
Okay. And so that,
So there's probably some pent up aggression toward me. That's
which
my-
gets then
that's
taken
my
out
guess.
on me?
I think she has some pent up aggression
Well, now we're
and
talking real
anger
specific.
toward her previous baby daddy that I don't think she can get out.
At what point are we responsible for our own actions, though? That's a good question.
Who, the women?
Anybody. At what point are you responsible for your own actions?
I don't know. Probably
Ever?
sometime between puberty and age 25. It's a gradual process. Oh yeah, that was the theory we came up with. Is that what does it mean to mature or become mature? I think it is the gradual shift from 100% everything is my parents' or my genetics' fault, like a baby does nothing wrong. Everything a baby does is its parents' fault or because of its genetics specifically. And then at some point when you're, I don't know, 70 years old, everything you do is 100% on you at that point.
100% really.
Yes. It is your responsibility to react to the world in an appropriate way at that point. At some point, it becomes 100% your job to react to the world appropriately.
But there can be unforeseen consequences. In which case, technically it's your fault because you pushed over the first domino. But sometimes you can have no way of knowing how other people are going to react or what other factors are going to come into play. And therefore, you get taken off course.
Far be it from me to regurgitate a quote, but isn't it something about the wise person doesn't open his mouth to prove that he's not?
I don't think that has anything to do with what I'm saying.
It's about unintended consequences of pushing down dominoes. I'm saying the wise man, who's 100% responsible for his actions, would make sure he doesn't push down dominoes. I don't care if they're dominoes I think that need pushed over.
Metaphysical mature. We
You don't
need more
push down
specifics
dominoes.
here, I think.
As a grown
Have you
person,
ever driven, Jordan, have you ever driven over .08?
not to my knowledge.
Do you suspect that you have ever
I don't know if this is a
operated
proper
a
question.
vehicle? No, this is a hypothetical. This is a hypothetical. Hypothetical question, hypothetical answer. The point I'm trying to make
Are you
is,
asking me to imagine what it would be like to drive drunk?
have you ever had sex, Jordan?
That's really personal.
You're not going to answer my questions now?
I have 2 children, but I'm not going to specify the manner in which they happen.
I just told you about your real name, too. It's cool. Everyone knows it. I'm gonna end this one with this. I'll just. No.
Have I ever done something naughty?
Yes, and 2 people can do the same thing, and one person
Yes, but I was
essentially gets
under the
caught
age of
and the
18
other
is when-
doesn't.
At one point in time, I was under the age of 18, though, so I don't know if I can be charged or anything for that.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
I don't either. I do know that I cleaned up paintball
2 people can do the same thing.
off
though.
of some kid's playground because I'm a good person.
Okay, it's not really relevant. What I'm saying is, like, many of us have done things that we should have had a worse consequence. Many people have had unprotected sex. Many people have driven drunk. Most people have not had a DUI. Most
Oh,
people
I
have
see.
not
Oh,
had
so you
an
want to talk
STD.
hypothetically now. Yeah, something like you can drive drunk like 800 times, and like the 801st time.
But there's somebody who got caught in their fifth time or sixth time or whatever and did nothing wrong. Just something, the circumstances lined up to where somebody hit them. They weren't at
Some people
fault.
get caught the first time they drive drunk. Some people get caught the 700th.
And so I'm saying that
Some people never get caught driving drunk.
Wendy, but unless you have never driven drunk before in your life, how can you judge somebody who's had a DUI or something else has happened? Because some other factors that were out of their control came into play.
You said, how can you judge? I think the wise, mature person doesn't judge.
Uh-huh.
And I think you have to have been through something.
We started by pushing over dominoes. It started with the whole thing about
Who's pushing over
responsibility.
dominoes? Why are we pushing?
You don't... What started all this was, at what point are you responsible for your actions? And I said, well, you always are, but that sometimes there can be like other factors that come into play that you can't control, and then it takes you off course. Getting a DUI is being taken off course, quite literally.
You become responsible for your actions as you gradually become capable of predicting the consequences of your actions properly or accurately.
It's a risk assessment.
So like when I do actions A, B, or C, I know that reactions D, E, or F tend to occur or are options or possibilities. When I choose to drive without my seatbelt, I know there's a chance I will get pulled over for driving without a seatbelt.
I don't think they can legally pull you over for just that alone.
Take the concept.
I know a lot about search and seizure, okay? Continue.
I know that when I engage in some kind of illegal activity on the roadway, there's a chance I will be pulled over for that illegal activity or unsafe activity.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the consequences are going to be, a ticket or being jailed, I'll lose my license, my car, whatever.
Okay, you're saying live a perfect life, essentially, that we all know what the consequences are. We all, and if you do A,
no, it's just the
you're
calculation.
No matter how far down it goes.
It's the comprehension. With understanding or with knowledge or with awareness comes responsibility. So I am aware that driving double the speed limit puts me at an increased risk of running into somebody because things happen on the roadway that surprise you and you need to go
Okay,
break.
you know why these podcasts are getting worse? Because we're becoming more and more like ourselves, and people don't like who we really are.
We need more topics.
No, that's a conversation point right there, which is...
No.
You almost turned that... No, I'm taking control of it. He almost tried to cut this off. Oh my gosh, we're 22 minutes in.
Ain't nobody gonna listen to
No,
this
we
shit.
are. We're pushing through that. We need to wrap it up, though. And that can be next time. We can talk about... Originally, we were going to say why everyone hates us was going to be the title. And we haven't even really discussed that much, have we? Maybe a little bit last time when we talked about the haters. All right. Well,
I think everybody hates us because you and I are extraordinarily codependent and yet somehow are like successful in life.
that's a really good conversation point, too, about the different kinds of relationships.
Most codependent people tend to
Intense.
self-destruct in a way that it affects their quality of life, and it feels like
Oh,
they get what
we've
they
done
deserve.
that.
They feel like
I'm
they get what
teasing.
they deserve.
Yeah.
Whereas you and I have gotten more and more and been more successful, yet we still continue to get closer.
Because we said that earlier, that people say they want an intense all-in relationship, but that comes with the good and the bad. And to see someone's soul, every bit of it.
You can't be 100% raw and up close and in your face and your real self and not have something negative.
I was going to say we're going to talk this next time, but then as soon as I say we're going to cut it off, then you come up with conversation topics and elaborate on them. Isn't it funny how that goes?
You should probably write them down.
When do we ever do things the right way?
We had kids after we got married.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
We had an apartment prior to having a house.
Well, aren't we just wholesome, golden,
It depends on
all-American couple
It
here?
depends on what standards you apply.
Very Midwestern. All right. Midwestern values.
Now, if all you're worried about is whether or not you murder somebody, you and I are living a perfect life.
Yeah, you know, that's good. That's true.
Look, there's that.
Count your victories.
There's the upside. Look, if the standard is don't murder, I'm winning at the not murdering game.
All right. Well, we'll count the wins or whatever we can get them. All right. So,
You can't break the rules if ain't nobody ever told you what the rules were.
all right, we're gonna say peace out on this one. What's our parting song or something? That's a good one. Oh, this is a good one. No. Hold on, you guys. I found a better one here. I thought of a better one. Oh my goodness gracious, this is fine. You know what I'm gonna pick, right?
No idea.
It's a classic to us. It's an unknown song that has a meaning here, and of course, then now here's I'm trying to pull it up. Spotify is gonna act like a dick. So
What? Get hard to use?
yes, exactly right. That was good. good.
Oh, that's a quip right there.
That was really good.
Time dilation
Time dilation.
by Jonah Freed.
I will. Oh my. It's not even coming up now. Oh. You could just sing it for him, Jordan. Do the
I don't remember what the do is for that.
Okay. Anyways, so while we get this pulled up, I will leave you with one piece of final advice, which is don't go looking for kittens.
It's a creepy song.
Because
You might find a lion.
can you say it with a little more like passion?
Roar.
Are you not feeling like a lion tonight?
I don't care.
Oh, I'll be here to remind you of your roar.